Marcus Chen shuffled through the crowded marketplace of New Geneva Station, his worn boots scraping against the metal grating. At 52, he carried the weight of 1,000 disappointments in his shoulders, failed businesses, broken relationships, and now exactly 3 credits to his name. The station's artificial atmosphere recyclers hummed overhead, struggling to maintain breathable air for the diverse mix of species that called this frontier outpost home. The Zephyrian woman caught his attention not because of her ethereal blue skin or the way her crystalline hair caught the harsh fluorescent lights, but because she was dying. She sat huddled against a maintenance shaft, her slender frame racked with violent shivers. Zephyrians were desert dwellers from a world with 3 suns. The cold of the station's outer rim was poison to their metabolism. Her large, amber eyes tracked Marcus as he approached, fear and resignation warring in their depths. "English?" Marcus asked softly, crouching down to her level. She nodded weakly. "Some... yes." Marcus looked around the bustling corridor. Dozens of beings passed by. Coraxian traders with their mechanical appendages, hulking Bruthan laborers, even a few fellow humans. None spared the dying alien a second glance. In the frontier, everyone had their own problems. "How long have you been here?" he asked. Two cycles," she whispered, her voice like wind chimes in a gentle breeze. "Transport. Left me. No credits for passage." Marcus knew that story. He'd lived variations of it himself. The frontier was littered with the dreams of those who'd bet everything on a better life among the stars, only to find the universe was just as cruel as the worlds they'd left behind. His hand went instinctively to his credit chip. 3 measly units. Enough. For maybe a ration pack or a night in the cheapest hostel pod. Certainly not enough to book passage for a stranded Zephyrian. But in the shop window behind her, a thermal blanket gleamed under the merchant's lights. Top-grade Terran military surplus designed to retain body heat in the vacuum of space. 3 credits exactly. Marcus stared at the blanket, then at the woman, then at his own reflection in a nearby porthole. A middle-aged failure with graying hair and laugh lines that had forgotten how to smile. He'd spent 52 years looking out for himself, and where had it gotten him? "What's your name?" he asked. "Zara," she replied, struggling to focus on his face. "I'm Marcus." "Hold on, Zara." 10 minutes later, he returned with the blanket. Zara's eyes widened as he wrapped it around her shoulders, the advanced thermal technology immediately beginning to counteract her hypothermia. Color started to return to her blue skin, shifting from the pale ice of near death to the vibrant azure of health. "Why?" she asked, her voice stronger now. You don't know me." Marcus settled beside her against the maintenance shaft. Maybe that's exactly why. Over the following days, Marcus discovered that Zara was a xenobotanist, a scientist who studied plant life across different worlds. She'd been part of a research expedition that had dissolved in financial ruin, leaving her stranded without resources or return passage to Zephyr Prime. Her knowledge of agricultural systems could revolutionize food production on a dozen frontier worlds, but without credits or connections. She was just another refugee. "On my world," she told him as they shared a ration pack he'd bartered for, "we have a saying. The sands remember every kindness. I have no way to repay you, Marcus Chen." "Wasn't looking for repayment," he replied, though privately he wondered what he was going to do. His hostel credit had run out, and they were both facing the prospect of sleeping in the station's cold maintenance tunnels. That's when Zara made an offer that changed everything. "Humans and Zephyrians. We're compatible," she said, her cheeks darkening with what he assumed was embarrassment. "Not for children, but for warmth, for comfort. My people, we bond through shared heat, shared breath. It's how we survive." Marcus understood. In the cold mathematics of survival, two beings sharing warmth had better odds than one facing the darkness alone. What followed wasn't the romance novels he'd read in his youth, but something deeper, a partnership forged in mutual need and tempered by genuine respect. Zara's knowledge of hydroponics and his mechanical skills proved a potent combination. They started small, growing vegetables in improvised containers, selling fresh produce to crews tired of recycled protein paste. Within months, their small operation had expanded into 3 shipping containers. Within a year, they had a contract to supply the entire station. Zara's scientific innovations, combined with Marcus's understanding of frontier economics, created something neither could have achieved alone. But more than business success, they found something neither had expected: belonging. Zara's heat warmed more than just their shared bed. It melted the cynicism that had crystallized around Marcus's heart over decades of disappointment. And Marcus's steady presence gave Zara the security she needed to let her brilliant mind flourish again. The sands remember every kindness, she would whisper to him in the soft hours before dawn. Her crystalline hair spread across his chest, her warm breath a promise against his skin. 2 years later, as their agricultural empire expanded to 3 stations, and Marcus found himself testifying before the Galactic Commerce Council about sustainable food production, he often thought about that moment of choice. 3 credits, the last of his money, spent on a stranger who was dying in a corridor. The universe had taught him that humans were small, insignificant, easily forgotten. But that night, when he'd chosen compassion over self-preservation, he'd learned something the universe couldn't teach: that sometimes the smallest acts of humanity cast the longest shadows. And in the warmth of Zara's embrace, in the success they'd built together, in the lives they'd improved with fresh food and steady employment, Marcus Chen had found his answer to the question that haunted every soul in the vast, cold frontier. What did it mean to be human among the stars? It meant remembering that kindness, like heat, was meant to be shared.